Alright, let's talk about this NEXPOW Power Station. This thing is awesome. I swear to God it is. I just did another review. Amazon rejected the review. I'm not sure if I said something bad or what. I apologize if I did. I'll try to keep this one without profanity if I can try to do that. Anyway, this unit is wonderful. I can't tell you how wonderful it is. The price is dirt cheap for what you're getting. I see I've been looking at the Amazon reviews, and a lot of people just don't bother to read the manual. You don't know how to operate the thing, and they give it bad reviews. I'm telling you, man. Right now, I got this thing running right here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me see. Give me a second here. By the way, just for experimentation, I'm also horsing around with this one here. This is a nice unit as well. I'm actually charging this unit from this unit here. Kind of charging back and forth to get an idea of the capacities that way. So I'm running a little bit of a test right now. And this is what I got going on this thing right now. I'm charging up this hand warmer. And I'm charging this charging station as well. And I'm also got my AC running, and it's running a computer. Not a laptop, a real computer. A Core i5 computer. A Dell. Ain't got no problem. It runs no problem at all. According to my calculations, it can run this for about 6 hours like that. That's awesome. It was never intended to run a live computer. It's really intended to like recharge a laptop or something like that. But it's running my computer right here just fine. Well, there you go, man. For the price and for the performance, you cannot beat this unit at all. It's really nice. I bought 4 of them. I know what I'm talking about. I've been testing them back and forth, trying all kinds of different configurations. And this unit is solid. Just trust me, it's solid. But the problem is, looking through the product reviews, people don't know how to operate this thing. Let me make some corrections for you guys. Some clarifications. In case you don't know how to operate it and you're going to think it's a bad unit, ship it back to Amazon. And waste everybody's time and money. Alright, so I'm going to come up with a list of gotchas on this particular product, okay? Here we go. The first gotcha is, you always got to read the manual before you operate these things. Always! It's really important that you read the manual before you even turn it on or try to use it, okay? And if you do bother to read the manual, which you have to do it or you're not going to appreciate it, you're not going to use it properly if you don't read the manual. Just trust me. The first thing it says in the manual is, charge it first, charge it first. Yeah, you have to do that. If you don't do that, it will not operate correctly, all right? Now, when these things are shipped, I think they're shipped in a state, like a transportation state. And then the first time you charge it up, it converts it and turns it into like a runtime state. And so the first time you charge it, it's going to behave a little bit differently than after that, thereafter. When you I'm sorry. When you get these things shipped to you, they arrive with about maybe 50% or 60% charge on them. And you have to charge them before you do anything at all. And I highly recommend that you charging it the first time you charge it with the AC adapter that's included in the kit. And this is a solid adapter. This is not a chintzy little piece of crap here. This is really solid here. In fact, if you compare it to this other charger, this one here, this is the one that came with this big blue unit. This is actually a more higher capacity unit, and it came with a chintzy little charger here. Look at the difference between these chargers. This is solid. This came with the NEXPOW. Pow! And it comes with all the accessories you're going to need. And like this is the accessory that came with the big blue unit, okay? See how that's not a very it's not a very thick gauge piece of wire here at all. Look at the one that came with NEXPOW. This is the one with the NEXPOW. See how much thicker it is? So that's better. I mean, it comes with really high gauge wiring. So that's really important. That shows it's quality stuff here. And they didn't scrimp. So getting back to business, the first time you charge it, you want to use this charger. You want to plug this into a real AC outlet. And then plug this here, over here, into the oh yeah, you want to go into the DC in port right here. Don't go to the DC out when you're charging it, right? DC in. So just take it out of the package, put it on the table, put that in the DC in, and then plug this into a 110 volt outlet, and it'll start charging by itself. Like I say, it'll probably go from when you get shipped, it'll probably be between maybe 50 and 60%. It'll go to 100%. Now, when you're charging it, this is very, very important, okay? First time you're charging it, you'll start charging normally. When it gets to 99%, it'll hold at 99% for a long, long time. And if you're not patient enough, you're going to think, well, 99% that's good enough. Unplug it and use it. That's not good. You have to let it go all the way to 100%. There's this thing it knows 99%. It's like calibrating itself at that point. So let it, like it may go from maybe 50% to like 99%. It may take 3 hours to do that. Then it'll take a whole other hour to go from that 99% to 100%. That's normal the first time. After that, then it'll go from 99% to 100% in appropriate time. Unless you get the thing out of calibration, we'll talk about that later. So if you're not patient enough to let it go all the way to 100, then you're not using the unit properly and it won't behave properly after that. The next gotchas are simple operation. I've seen people complain they're giving this unit a 1-star rating and they're shipping it back and saying it's a piece of junk, because they didn't figure out how to operate the darn thing. I saw one review, they said they couldn't figure out how to turn the light on. They couldn't figure out how to turn the light on. Watch this. It's a double click. You have to know how to work these things. Sometimes you have to hold them down, single clicks, double clicks. You have to read the manual to figure out how to use this stuff. I just turned it on and off while the unit was running. It didn't affect the other operation, and this button it does affect other operations. Double click to turn the light on, double click to turn the light off. All right? I can't believe like 3 reviewers sent the unit back because they couldn't figure out how to turn the light on. They didn't know how to double click it because they didn't bother to read the manual. And I saw one lady, she actually made a video. She said she couldn't, this charging, she said the AC wasn't working, okay? She said, she clicks this once, hang on, I guess I have to, I'm running this on a live computer, so I want to gracefully shut that down, so let me just do that real quick. Here's what she did. She plugged something in the 110 volt outlet, okay? And she clicked this once, and then she says, it doesn't work. Why isn't it working? Then she got all pissed off. Then she came over. She plugged something in the USB outlet, and it worked. She said, "Well, that means that the AC outlet doesn't work." Yeah, and she sent 2 of these units back, and she gave all kinds of nasty comments, and she said that the customer service is really poor and stuff like that. Well, hey, lady, actually her name is Debbie. Hey, watch this. Okay, I just turn it off now. You turn it on like that. You turn it on, you gotta hold it down. Listen. 1, 2, boom. You gotta press it and hold to activate the AC. Did you know that? Apparently she didn't bother to read the manual. So there you go. All that, customer service and shipping and handling, and Amazon wasted all that time and money for nothing. There you go. You have to read the manual. Now, a lot of people are under the belief that you can actually use this as a pass-through unit. And actually, I got it to work like that. Where I had something actually connected to the AC, and concurrently while I had that, I actually had the input plugged in, and it was charging while it was running. And it actually worked. And some of the commenters, reviewers, were complaining that when that happened, first of all, they couldn't get the AC output to work. Now this, while the DC is on and you're charging it with the DC, well, the AC is on. The green is the AC. Well, the AC is on, and you're also charging for the DC input. This unit cuts off the DC output and it cuts out the USB-C output here, but it lets the USBs have power and lets the 110 volt run. I don't know why it does that, because truthfully, it says in the manual, don't do that. I don't think it was designed to be a pass-through unit. I think that if you actually run it like that, I think it's gonna mess up the battery recharge count, because it's like you're recharging and charging at the same time. I think if you run it like that, it'll work okay. But I bet you within a month or 2 months of doing that, the thing will stop working. Because what'll happen is you'll reach your recharge count limit, and it won't work after that because you're constantly charging and discharging at the same time. They tell you not to do it like that, and I'm actually surprised they even allow it at all. And the light also can be operated independently of all this stuff. This lamp also operates. You can do the lamp output while you're charging as well. Now that feature is common on these like little handheld ones where you can this thing where you click this here, and this is another one you have to click and hold kind of thing. See, to get this to work. People took this back as well because they didn't know how to click and hold it. But these units all allow you to have the light working while you're charging, while you're accepting a charge, or while using it as a charger. But these units won't let you charge and discharge at the same time. I'm surprised this thing lets you do it at all, like I'm saying. But some of the people were complaining. They said, hey, that was a feature, and they were complaining that the DC out and the USB-C output weren't working at that time. Hey, it's not a feature. You're not supposed to do it at all. Okay? And again, I know I repeat myself a lot, but I believe if you do that, it's going to run down the battery life. It'll decrease the recharge count a lot faster than it was designed to be. I think it's got like 1,000 recharges. And if you use that like every 3 days, that could last you like 10 years or something like that, or many years. But if you run it like this, I think it may count like 20 recharges a day or something like that, because it's constantly charging and recharging like that. Okay. Now here's a gotcha, people. I bet nobody's even going to catch this one here. Okay. Remember I told you the first time to charge it, use the 110 volt and the one that converts to 110 volt and then to 12 volt output, and charge it up that way the first time. Okay. Like I say, I bought a bunch of these units, and I'm horsing around. I'm trying to figure out if you can charge this unit from something even smaller. Like, can you charge from here to here, from here into here? Not, usually you go from a large unit to a smaller, but I'm wondering why couldn't you, like, if you got USB output on these things, why couldn't you charge this from these? Here's what I've discovered on this, okay? That doesn't work. Not only does it not really work, it works kind of funky. What it does is, it definitely discharges the small unit that you're feeding. But this unit here, it starts incrementing the percentage count kind of rapidly. And you think, wow, it's working, man. That's amazing. For example, I got this little handheld, weather radio, and it's got a solar charging panel on it, and it's got a little hand crank on it as well. Okay, so you can crank this unit up here, and there's a little charging indicator on here. Watch it come on when I see that when I charge it, hand crank. I don't think, man, if society really broke down or something like that, if the duty hit the fan, I'm thinking I could just keep cranking this up manually, and because this one's got a USB output on it as well, this can act as a USB power station as well as a radio, just like my little hand warmers, and just like kind of like this as well, this little charging station as well. So I figured, okay, this can charge this, right? And I plugged it in, and it seemed to be working, because I did it when it was first brand new. That's the point I'm trying to make here, okay? It appeared to be working really fine. This thing started going from 50, I got it at 50%. It started going 51, 52. I said, great. This thing has 5,000 milliamp hours of power in it, okay? I'm thinking maybe it would charge maybe 10% of this one, right? And it started getting up there, like 50, 51, 50. It got up to 60%. I go, wow, that's great. How can like a 5,000 milliamp battery, charge this one here? Let me get the numbers right before I talk. Now this one here is a little less than 50,000 milliamp hours. This one's 5,000, so you'd think this one here would be 10% the capacity of this one right here. So when I did it, and this thing went from 50 to 60, I'm thinking, okay, that's great. It must have completely discharged this one, and it did the whole 10%. I'm sitting there watching. It got the 61%. See, it just kept going up. I couldn't figure out why. It got all the way to like 80%. I couldn't understand. That's impossible. Something's wrong, okay? Because they don't really work, okay? It doesn't really work. If you try doing that, first of all, it'll never ever get past 99% ever, no matter what. But in the scenario I just painted for you guys, where I started with a factory transportation mode battery at 50%, and this thing got all at 80%, okay? Which can't be. As soon as I unplugged it and I started looking at it, this thing started going negative, 80, 79, 78. So it started discharging. It looked like it was discharging. It wasn't discharging. What it really was it got confused, because this is not a fully, it's just not powerful to charge this for whatever reason. It looks like it's working, but it doesn't work. So now, if you look in the product reviews, a whole bunch of people took this unit back because they said that it got up to a certain charge, and when they stopped charging, it started decreasing the charge. I would be willing to bet that all those people made the mistake of trying to charge this initially with an underpowered power source. Again, you don't want to do that. You want to initially charge it up with a 110 volt adapter, and even after that, it still doesn't work. It doesn't really work from going from small to large. I thought it would have worked. It doesn't work. It doesn't work on USB-C. Okay, what it will work on is if you can somehow get your devices to, for example, if I try to use this, okay, I try to use the output here of USB and try to input that into my USB-C here, it would not work. But what will always work is if I use the 110 volt output on here. Even if this thing is down to almost zero charge, it will still, the 110 volt output, it will be able to step up to whatever it needs to do. But when you're just using the USB-C, it's more of a voltage thing than a computing power step unit. You know, like that. These are more computers than actual batteries. So I'm not sure why the people that are complaining are all named Debbie. But Debbie D, she says, I received this portable generator. She couldn't get the flashlight to come on. And she says she tried, and she had the big problem with the customer support, and they wouldn't tell her. And she sent it back, and obviously she didn't try to double click it, right? Jesus Christ. Now another Debbie, very disappointed, blah blah blah. She says that she couldn't get the AC output to work, and she even made a video showing how, like I showed you, where she presses this thing once, you know, this button once, like that, and it turns on the, you know, the USBs, but it doesn't turn on the AC because that doesn't do it, man. You have to hold it down for 2 seconds, and it turns it on. She apparently didn't know that. Here's somebody that's complaining battery takes forever to charge, doesn't last long. But then you read through it, you say, yeah, she actually charged it with the output, USB output of a cell phone or something like that. And that's exactly what I just described. There's 3 people that had problems, perceived problems. They took it back, they're complaining about this stuff, and I guess that was Rodney. He was trying to charge a vaporizer too, so, you know, what can you say? Okay, there's another guy, he's saying that it worked okay and then it failed after the second charge. I would venture to guess that he probably tried to use the, he probably tried to charge it the wrong way, one way or another. He probably got something reversed. He probably tried to charge into a USB, right? Because it looks like you can charge into these guys. He probably tried that. He probably broke it. Or maybe he tried to put this DC input into the output jack. And he tried to force it in there. They can't really force them in there. They're not the same size. But maybe he tried to use another charger from another unit here, and then he made it. Maybe that one did fit into the output here, and he made that mistake that way. Because you're supposed to use all the original cabling and chargers that come with the unit. You're not supposed to mix and match them from any of the other units, and he may have done that. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that the unit would come just bad like that. It might have happened, but more likely he probably got something reversed on the charging. He probably tried to charge into one of these USB outputs. These are outputs only. These two are output, and this one here is output only. The 12 volt is output. Can't put those inputs. Now the USB-C that is two-way thing, but primarily it's supposed to be used as a charging port on these units here. And there's just one after another there where they say they can't get it to work, or a bunch of these guys are saying, well, it worked okay, but it stopped working after a month, stopped working after a couple months. And remember what I said? If you try to use it as a pass-through, where you got the DC input running at the same time using the AC output, which it'll actually let you do that. I don't know why, but you're not supposed to do that, and that can definitely decrease the life of the battery. All these guys that say it's stop working after a month or a couple months, that's probably what they're doing wrong. And a lot of these guys I saw where they actually are doing it. They're saying that they're using it as pass-through. So read the specifications, read what it's actually capable of, and just because it's got 110 volt output on it doesn't mean you can run a refrigerator from this or anything like that. Use this unit properly as it's intended to be used. I think it's wonderful, it's awesome, it's great. Okay, that's it. It's the 20th of January 2022. It's Marty from Livonia. And if you guys got some time, watch some of my other product reviews where I got a 60-minute video that talks about the fundamentals of these lithium-ion batteries. A lot of gotchas that people just make bad assumptions about. Okay, that's it. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.